Good morning, everybody. It's July 13th at 9 o'clock a.m. We're here for negotiations between the local fire union and the city of Pocatello. Good morning, gentlemen. Just to open, Chief Gates has set some time aside to meet with you regarding the 4896 controlling document that will need to start before August 1st for the TA. So there are several dates available after the 19th. I'll have him email you and that can be arranged between the parties. And then Andrea is still looking for a response on the June 2nd, June 17th, and June 24th meetings from the union. If you could respond to her so we can make sure we get those minutes posted. Okay. And then at our last meeting, I believe there was, the last offer on the table was one delivered from the city and you had asked for more time to consider that.
Yeah. So we reviewed that with some of our membership.
Okay.
And to tell you the truth, we're having a little bit of difficulty with it. We were hoping that the city would be able to provide some numbers as far as what that costs the city. If you could do a breakdown.
For what part?
Well, for what the effect the proposal would end up being, or would end up costing the city.
For compensation or benefits?
Well, the entire proposal.
So we can come to a educated guess on insurance, but without knowing what rates are, there's no way for us to apply percentages to unknown rates.
Fair enough.
The other thing is, you guys have full access to your medical enrollments. Is there a reason you couldn't apply those numbers?
We're talking more the COLAs. What is the COLA cost versus?
You mean the percentage increase costs?
Yes.
Okay.
And you're right. We do have the ability to look at the insurance. In fact, we've already costed it out a little bit on our side, but we'd like to see how our numbers compare to yours.
Okay.
I guess kind of if I can add something, what we talked about is our offer that we made. We feel like that's about as close as we can get to come to an agreement, and we feel like the offer that the city made last time will basically finance our own raises with those amounts. And so we just feel like there's a gap there that we're having a hard time understanding what's the difference between our offer and the offer that you guys made. So we're just looking for help on how do we close that gap, I guess, basically.
So monetarily, that's what you're saying, that gap that you talked about is, you're trying to understand what that is?
Yeah.
Between the two offers?
Yeah.
Okay. Should we take a little sidebar?
Yeah, can we take just a quick break real quick?
Sure.
Let's go.
Okay.
Thank you for our brief recess. I don't know what else to call it at this point. It feels like a recess. We should go outside. There was a lot of discussion after our last meeting amongst the management team and the city elected officials, and we are prepared to offer a counter proposal to what we brought last time. So I'm going to go through it, and then I have a handout for you. I found if we go through it first, I tend to get more questions than if everyone's trying to read ahead. So stop me if I'm going too fast, because I really want to make sure we're on the same page on this. So we have two items left on the table. That's compensation and medical benefits. I'm going to start with the compensation side. So the city's offer remains the 3-year contract at 2.53 and 3.5. This is the cost of the offer. So the first line that you're seeing there says projected fiscal year 22. So that already takes into account rate advancements that occur and longevity increases. You'll notice that the longevity between projected 22 and offer 22 are the same because we've already accounted for that. So we don't want to show that as an increased cost to what this offer is. Overall, the city's offer of the 2.5 increases the budget by $161,000 for the overall budget to be 7.347. In the little box down at the bottom, splits it between fire and ambulance. Fiscal year '23, we do have a 3%. The overall cost increase from the offer 22 to offer 23 is $294,000, taking the fire and ambulance, the compensation piece of this, to $7.6 million. And then offer 24 is 3.5, and that cost increase is $283,000. Before anyone asks, I can tell you why those numbers look weird between years 2 and 3. You have a lot of rank advancements that kind of end in 23, so there's not that 5% movement that you're seeing. So the overall base wage increase on 23 isn't 3%, it's 3.9 when you take into account those rank advancements. So that's why those numbers look a little different than you would anticipate. So taking into account what our offer is, this breaks down average wage by position type. The top blue line is firefighting staff. The blue line at the bottom is fire civilian staff, which is what I'm calling your office personnel and your EBT. Your fire prevention captain, I did lump in with firefighters because it is a firefighting position. As far as the person who holds the position, you can easily move back and forth. You can see average wage for firefighters in 22 would be $68,000. In 23 it would be $71,000, and in 24 it'd be $74,000. We further broke that down by position type. So a firefighter would start at 56 and end at 62. A driver operator would start at 66 and end at 71. A paramedic would start at 73 and end at 79. A captain would start at just under 80,000 and end at 85. And a battalion chief would be at 93 and end at just under 100,000. That is at your 29-12 schedule and does not take into account any overtime. Any questions on that? Okay. In comparison, this is the last offer that Fire put on the table. So what Fire did put on the table was a 4-year contract, 3% 4 plus CPI for the previous 3 years, following years, I'm sorry. Because we've agreed to a 3, I applied 3% to 22 and then 4% on CPI to 23 and 24. CPI that I pulled was the last published budget digest, which this is where I pulled it, and these are the amounts. As you can see, the increases go from $193,000 to $480,000 to $500,000. Any questions on those? A lot of numbers coming at you real quick.
Yep.
So moving on from pay, medical benefits is an area we are pretty far apart on. There's just a philosophy problem that we're having trouble trying to balance. So we have some made revisions to what our offer is. We took the Northwest firefighter rates, actually financed it and gave me a monthly billing amount per cost. We picked a month, we set that as the average. We made sure we picked something after January because that year rates do go up, not on fiscal year, but calendar. So we took 18 to 19 as an average of 7.92% increase, 19 to 20 is 5.89, and 20 to 21 is 3.9, which is an increase of 18.72 over that time period, which comes to an average of 6.24% increase over those 3 years. The cities, in comparison, city cost is in blue, overall city premium is in green. The city's increase over those 3 years has been 0.97%. We are willing to offer 6.24% over your individual 21 rates. So what this means, for October through December, you would have your current rates because you move on a calendar. January through September, we would increase up to 6.24%, or the actual premium based on individual enrollments, whichever is less. 23 and 24 apply the same way. It'd be 6.24% over the 22 rates. And then I have PowerPoint for you and then just a summary page that lists all these as individual items.
Just out of curiosity, why do you have the fiscal year breakdown in there?
I'm sorry?
Well, our insurance goes on January to January, what you said.
Yes.
So,
Because your premiums don't increase in October October through December, we already know what those are. So
Okay.
there's no point in applying the 6.24% because we already know what that
Gotcha.
cost is.
This was.
That's the summary page. It's kind of hard to weed through and make notes on a giant PowerPoint, but sometimes it's easier on one. And that's it. I'm guessing you're going to want some time.
So just to be clear, so you're proposing that the 6.24% increase cap would apply to each insurance category individually, not
Yes.
the overall?
So if one category has a higher increase than another, that category will own the premium.
Okay.
That's basically that's your trend applied to your own employees.
Okay, so, oh, gotcha.
Just a question on the average wages, so did you include like max longevity?
I took the salary projection file, which keeps crashing my computer, and I went through everyone's compensation that was based off of anything tied to base wage, and I selected everybody's and took an average of those. So if someone was at max and someone was at year 3, those two numbers are averaged in there.
On the spreadsheet that you had, the first one that goes over longevity, is that calculating projected retirements or anything like that?
So projected retirements are only accounted for in the medical premium category. When we know someone might retire, we move them to a family rate so that there's no harm to the department for covering that benefit cost. We do not adjust compensation at all.
Okay, so that first table, longevity, could actually go down because we potentially have somebody like
Well,
the
it's based
chief
off of the
retiring.
projection file, which is a single snapshot of time in which the budget is built.
Okay.
It's too hard to evolve the projection file.
So you just kind of take, like you said, a picture.
Otherwise, every keystroke we enter into the payroll system would have to be adjusted, and we don't have the staffing to cover that. And it's really hard to present numbers to council that are evolving on two sides.
Gotcha.
Okay,
Thank you.
thanks.
Thanks, guys.
We'll take a break.
Thank you. Welcome back.
Come back. Yeah, after some discussion, the union will accept that on the TA.
Okay. I need a pen. I gave up bringing a pen. It was bad luck.
So while she's signing that, as you know, we had a status conference with the Fact Finding Commission last week. Your representative was there. I represented the city. I'll let our Fact Finding Commissioner know that we've reached a TA on all open issues. Basically, their services are no longer needed at this time. Do you want me to just email the whole group, or do you want me to just email our Fact Finding Commissioner?
It's fine if you email the whole group. I did intend on reaching out to our commissioner.
Yeah, I was just thinking, I'm not sure that he's on the list that I had. They just said that Alan had his contact information, that had your representative's contact information. So one way or another, we'll let them all know.
Right, well, I'll definitely notify Alan. Then I guess as far as, I mean, we should have minimal fees incurred but there should be fees from fact finding. Traditionally, we've paid ours, you've paid yours, and we split the cost of the third.
I believe that's how the CBA reads, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
We will make sure the chief reaches out with those days for the 4896 discussion so we can get those moving.
Okay.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Good.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, everybody.